It's like herding kittens.
Yeah, they all. I like company with great minds. Thank you, Margaret.
You are welcome.
Have a good day.
Two.
All right. Go. I just got one that we have now. Oh, obviously. It's cool in here this morning, and it's cool in here too. It's gonna get really cold in here today. Weird. No, it must be Zoom day. All right, sound check me somebody.
Got it.
Got it. Thank you. And with this group, what is here? Well, there's several people out there, but let's see if they join. Oh, they'll get here eventually. Only 11:02. We're realtors. All right, people, tell me something good.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Sherry and I have good news. She's sitting here next to me. Our Spring Mesa listing went under contract. It was the second showing that we had. The agent called me from Mexico and said they wanted to write an offer, so they made an offer over list. And our sellers accepted, so we're under contract. Cash
Yay.
offer.
Gotta love a cash offer. So,
Yeah,
how many open houses did you cancel this weekend then?
we did them all.
Did you?
Yeah, we did the one Friday night. Had tons and tons of neighbors. And so that was really worth it. And then we did Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 2. Hoping for backup offers, but no one was quite that interested. So yeah, we made some good contacts and on track.
Now what are you gonna do with all those great contacts?
We're gonna call them all.
Love it. All right. Love it. All right. Who else has got good news? Stephanie.
My New York couple are under contract in Westminster.
I reviewed that offer late last night, so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was time yet.
And the listing agent said, I told my clients, this is such a well-written offer. We need to go with this one. I said, yes. They didn't need to escalate. Awesome. Yep.
Nice. I think I wrote that on Facebook earlier this week, right? Or over the weekend, right? The moral of the story was a well-written offer sometimes will beat money. Well done. Congratulations. And how did you meet these New York people again?
Oh, they walked into the office one day when I just dropped in for an hour to work because I was in between things.
Love it.
Hanging out in Old Town pays out. All right, who else has got good news? Nothing? All right.
Lakewood property's going okay?
Oh, yeah, like,
Okay.
property's fine.
Lakewood property's fine. Lakewood
That
property's
isn't, yeah,
fine.
but I have 5 properties on the market in Candelas that are fucking killing me.
No, they are just making you better.
Challenging you.
They're killing.
They are making you, I heard you on the phone talking about one of them today, so that's positive.
See what happens.
All right, people are talking about it, right? That's huge. That's huge. So, all right, a few things I want to make sure that is on you guys' radar. Ignite is happening if you want to join. May 24th, the region is hosting a listing masterclass. Did you guys see that? Have you seen that? It was in Elizabeth's email today. It's on the calendar.
Is that gonna be any different than the last listing masterclass I went to?
Well, so I don't know, because I don't remember who the last listing masterclass was. This one, they're bringing in, I can't remember her name, but I can look it up. Oh, I had it on the Zoom. Here we go. They are bringing in Vasha. I can never say her last.
Chevalier.
Okay, that's the name. They're bringing in Vasha. She's actually she was one that was, did some teaching of the listing presentation when we did bold online through COVID. She's an actual maps coach. She has a huge listing business. And they are doing different panels that are top listing agents in the state of Colorado. They're going to talk about their listing sources. They're going to talk about their pre-listing packet, their pre-qualification questions, post-closing, all of that type of stuff. So $49, set the PPA center. Anyway, just want to make sure that you guys are aware of it. Because I think anything we can learn that helps us bring one more listing to the table in this market is huge, because we are in a skills-based market right now, if I've never seen one. Okay, go back to the Zoom. July 11th. Has anybody ever heard Aaron Kaufman speak? Does anybody know who Aaron Kaufman is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Aaron Kaufman is coming to Colorado. He's going to be doing the KW effect. This is it's great to listen to Aaron because he gets you excited about our company, and Aaron's passion is about growing our company and all of us making as much money as possible in profit share. And so if you are looking at a way to grow passive income so that y'all don't have to work as hard as you do today, this would be a great workshop to go to and listen to him. And if you want more information, I would talk to Debbie. She can probably go through that one better than anybody. Here's the one I'm most excited about of all of these. On July 27th, Quantum Leap is coming to Colorado. Does anybody know what Quantum Leap is?
I've heard of it before, but I can't, other than the TV show.
Really cheesy.
It's a cheesy 80s TV show, right? Okay, but Quantum Leap is a program that Gary wrote when his son was in high school, college. And he wrote it about life and about direction and where are you going? And it's a mindset thing. And with the right instructor, it's super powerful. Gary still to this day teaches it live over 3 days in Austin to young adults between the age of 18 and 28. Wendy Papasan, I don't know if anybody heard that last name before, but this would be the spouse of Jay Papasan, is the Quantum Leap instructor who is coming on July 27th to go through Quantum Leap with us. So I'm super excited. I'm just going to tell Stacy right now, put it on her calendar because she's going. But anyway, super exciting stuff. And so I would block your calendar for that. If you're so interested, Mega Agent Camp is coming in August to a very cool Austin, Texas in August. And that's the middle of August. If you want information on that, let me know. Then on September 13th through the 15th, the Colorado regional event, there's a luxury event on the 13th. They're bringing Brady here. And then on the 14th and 15th is the Rocky Mountain Summit. It is up in Vail. Stephanie Taylor already has a free ticket. Did any of you guys go up there with us last year? No. Okay. For the first one that the region had ever done anything like that, they did a really great job. And with what Russ is putting together so far, I'm super stoked. So just some things to put on your calendar. Next month, the Skills Lab, we are going to be working on how to work with others better. And how to understand, this is not about playing nice in the sandbox, although that's an element to it, right? But when you're having a conversation with someone, maybe it's a potential client, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's your kid, your husband, your wife, your significant other. We all have different personalities. And understanding each other's personality types and how to work within those differences makes life a lot easier and a lot calmer, and also can make us a lot more successful in business, right? So understanding, I mean, you guys have all known me so long, right? If you don't write me an email that catches my attention in the first sentence, what's going to happen? Wait, I ain't reading the rest of it. Guess what? You all know that. I can tell because you just like say, Margaret, I need this, boom, 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 and away we go. Right? If I was a storyteller, probably would have to give me the story that might take me 10 minutes to read. Okay. So just a great class. We're going to do that for skills lab while we're there. So. All right. What's on your minds? Interesting body language all over. What's going on?
I'd love to debrief a little bit about the Wednesday meeting we had about open houses.
Okay. So I think who else other than Stephanie went to the open house mastermind? Nobody. Okay.
You.
Oh, well, yeah, we were there.
Yeah, I took away so many things from that, and I tried really hard this weekend at my open houses to start getting them in motion, but I found I have some real limitations. I door knocked on Friday for one of my Saturday open houses, but nobody could join me, so I did 35 houses in 2 hours and was exhausted and was out of time. So I didn't meet my goals there. The next day after my 2 open houses, I was gonna door knock for my Sunday open house. And I just went home and laid on my couch. I was so tired. So I really need to get some stamina and some discipline around the door knocking, because I do find if you can get neighbors coming in the door, it's really helpful. And then I was chatting at my Sunday open house with a couple of the younger agents, and Marquis was one of them, and he was at the open house class. I said, I really thought the answer to why are you having this open house was so you could get contacts and clients, when actually the answer was to sell the house. And that was just such a mind blower for me.
Okay, so that's a couple of big things to unpack. So I'm going to hit the second one first. An open house is absolutely designed to bring attention to the listing that we have open. Now, I want you to remember that the team that was there only does their own open houses.
Yeah.
Okay, so their mindset is, yes, we want to find prospective clients who will do business with us, but we also have the goal of selling the house we're in. Now, I will tell you on multiple occasions, I have held an open house and the buyer walked in the door and I took him to the closing table. It does happen at all price points. It does happen. We had what, 2 of them out there, right? The Levant, yeah, that house, and then we held the open house and then, yeah.
And
So-
that's at like the higher price points,
Uh-huh.
7, 8, 9, and then we've also had it at the 200 something price point.
So it happens, right? So yes, we want to know the house, we want to be the pro of the house, and especially when it's your own listing, right? And then you are correct, our goal is to find people who need our help. And I think it's we have to be careful, right? I always tell you guys, don't put into the universe what you don't want. If you put in the universe, I'm holding this open house and I want contacts, guess what you're going to get? Contacts. If you were picking up my juju to Stacy on Saturday, because I couldn't work the open house with her, she did it with somebody else. Well, I was sending out to the universe, send Stacy a buyer for that house who's unrepresented. Right?
Yeah. Well,
If you're going out there in those affirmations of saying, I'm not looking for just contacts, because if you just want people's phone numbers, we'll just get you a call directory pull and you'll have phone numbers. Right? But if you want to find people who are ready, willing, and able to complete a real estate transaction, either on the buy side or the sell side, it changes how you talk to people. And it changes how you're listening in those conversations. And it will also change how you do the follow-up. Okay, so who has had, other than Stacy and I, who else has worked in open house and found a very hot prospect that you either really nurtured away or took them all the way to a closing table? I know Amanda has, Casey has, Mara and Sherry have, Jamie has. All right, so I want to talk about that. So what does those conversations look like when that happens? Who wants to go first? Okay, I want you all to close your eyes right now. I'm gonna pull down the shades in your house. You can't see outside. The sun is bright, the bluest sky in the world is out there with big white fluffy clouds. The temperature's perfect. It's about 78 degrees out.
Where are we? Not in Colorado.
Yes, we are.
Oh.
We are in Colorado and it is a gorgeous day. It is not a gloomy day because you guys are all being impacted by the gloom. All right? Wake up. All right.
Any answer to this would help me because I feel like I am great at being friendly with people who come in the door of my open houses. But I've had no traction with, I want to wear a big button saying, let me help you, let me write you a contract. Like I want to just have buttons all over me. So that people know that I can take it further than that, but I haven't made that step yet.
I would start if you want me to. Can you hear me?
Go, Casey. Yep. Go.
So, one of the ways that I have 2 buyers from an open house, but I mean, they're just looking, and that's the problem. It's a long-term, I'm seeing it as a long-term ride. These are not people that are going to buy a house. If they're at the open house that I'm doing and they really like it and they're not interested in that unit, I know, or that place, I know it's going to be a long-term nurture because they're not really made up their mind. And I usually start the conversation with, well, what exactly are you looking for? What do you like here? And I have it written down up there. I can't remember how I started. I started with, and you, Margaret, might already understand this, is I started with, well, when exactly are you looking to be settled into a new place? What is that date? Right? Like you would have that in a listing conversation, but maybe you should have, I asked that at the open house, like, how long are you looking? Do you want somebody to help you look for that 6 years that you're going to spend looking for a home? Like you got to start somewhere to get them out there. And then we start looking and then we find stuff and then it slows down and now it's picking up again. So it's definitely a long-term thing, but you got to ask them, you got to ask them a lot of questions and listen.
Good. All right. Who else?
Well, Sherry and I had, these people came into an open house and there was another house down the street. Our open house was crazy and they wanted to see the house down the street. So my friend Barb was at the open house. So she was in charge of Sherry and I left and went and showed them the other house. And they almost put an offer on that one. But then we just followed up with them. We actually took them out to dinner. And that is, I think, what sealed the deal. And 5 or 6 months later, they were under contract. So, it wasn't immediate and it took a lot of time and we lost out on some houses with them, but we persisted and then did 3 deals with them. So
I think, what I feel like I found is that if you kind of connect with them just on that personal level first of how is it going, whatever, I feel like it comes after that through conversation. I don't know. I'm not the type to, I just feel uncomfortable. Like, where are you looking? What's your timeline look like? Going into it, it's really just a conversation, I think, for me.
connection. Yeah.
Finding out their motivation and then just capitalizing and showing them that you have the resources and the knowledge to help them with, what kind of questions you have about the process? What have you been finding? And then they open up to you and they're a little vulnerable. Well, this is what we have, and we don't really understand. Oh, well, let me explain that to you. Just offer relevant information to help get their trust and then follow up.
And this is do you have anything before I open my big mouth?
I think it's about, I think back to the ones that have been successful, like out of open houses, the conversations got into either one, if they're ready and don't stand in their way and stop them, like that townhouse where they were like, let's come back and look at it. And they were like, sure, let's buy it. And I'm like, okay, I'm there for you, like, you know, don't get in the way if they're like ready.
Yeah.
But if they seem hesitant, dig deeper and ask those questions, kind of like that role play that Linda and
Right,
Diane did,
Right,
where she dug deeper into that. And when you find the pain points or you connect on some level, and that's when you can actually show your expertise or your skill or your service or
Your
something,
resources,
like to
yeah.
get to them. And it's not
Demonstrating
always
value.
about like, I'm so smart.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's about caring, or sometimes it's about like
Right.
whatever that is for them. Like I remember the reason I sold Courtney and John that one house before you, because they didn't connect the dots at that point, was Courtney had stopped at an open house that I was doing. And through our quick conversation and her quick tour through that house, I find out she's like, oh, their landlord, they were renting at the time. Their landlord is about to sell the house they're in and they really need to find a place, but they're just so frustrated because they were talking to a lender or something and they just didn't understand and they weren't getting anywhere. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like, I just listened and I was like, you know what, I really want to connect you to a lender who's going to hear you and help you figure this out and give you the knowledge, let me do this. Later, when she called me and I asked her, she's like, I just felt like you really cared. And that's what she was looking for.
So coming from service.
So
like
I think it depends on the situation. But it's always about asking questions and trying to
Add value.
add value in some way, whether it's service, whether it's knowledge, whether it's, connection for these guys, whatever that is.
Well, and I think that you wrote you said, give me the button, let me write a contract for you.
Mhm.
That would turn most people off,
I know, that's
right?
why I
Because
haven't
it's
done it.
commission-y breath, right? It feels like you're just, the reason why people give us Mickey Mouse stuff is because they're used to hearing
Right,
the hard sell realtors, and that's not there's not a single person that's on this Zoom that I would say is hardcore sales. I'm probably the closest, and I definitely am not,
Mhm.
right? So I think part of it is that I'm also very cautious when I'm at the open house. I'm not going into the I'm not going into the buyer consultation, the needs analysis there, not at a very deep level. I might keep a pretty high level, but I'm not going to go deep because I want to do that one-on-one where I can take that to the next level. Right. I think it's about just being practiced and talking to people, knowing the area. I would say that Amanda and Nikki in Candelas, because they live there, they know the neighborhood, they've worked it for a long time. Before Amanda was even a realtor, she knew the first names of all the builder reps, right? I mean, knowing where you are now, if you're working an open house for Ron and Linda or somebody else, you don't have that luxury, but how can you close that gap? And part of that is preparation, right? And back in the day, I remember in 2015 when we did, I think we averaged 5 open houses a month. I think that's what we
I
did.
don't know, it was a lot.
But on the Fridays, we would door knock the neighborhood. We would go preview every home in the neighborhood that was active, that was within, a close proximity so that we'd been in it and we could talk to it. And it kind of gave us a boost of confidence, especially if we were in an area we didn't know like the back of our hands. Right. And as a new agent, we didn't know very many neighborhoods like the back of our hands. Right. And then I think it's going into those good questions, right? Have you ever sat down and written out your 50 questions for an open house? What are 50 questions that at an open house, if somebody walks in the door, that you can invite and ask? Because now, if you've thought about them in advance, now you're not listening to answer, you're listening to listen.
To understand.
Right? That was the word I couldn't find. Thank you, COVID.
Mhm.
And so, those are the things, right? What are the questions, right? I love what Sherry said, right? She's more about building the relationship than taking it to the next level. And yet you need to be prepared when you do identify through just a good, friendly conversation. Somebody's hot, right? Mara says, I can go take you to see that house. Now, the fact that she didn't know if they were pre-approved and she'd never met them before, on a safety coaching perspective, she just scared the shit out of me, right? But on the same token, that's what we have to do. And that's where we all have to trust our sixth sense. And you guys have been, you're not 10 years old, right? You all have that sense, right? And plus, Sherry knew where she was going,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. There are some people in this room that now can go to their iPhones and they can tell you where I am at any point in time. And we have shared location with each other, so that if something ever happens, we got a shot to try and find each other. Just little thing, thank you for the rock throwers, right?
Mhm.
Then, the other thing is, I think the success, I mean, you've done it, well, around me several times, and then when you were off with that other company, right, or companies, you've done it as well, right? But I would say the last one that we did, it was about recognizing just in the conversation. Like, we were talking about the neighborhood, and I kept looking at the sister going, I swear I know you, and just built up this relationship. And I went and I implemented, you know, that little text thing I sent you guys, where the minute they walk out the door, you have a pre-programmed text that says, thanks so much for stopping by my open house. Well, I just had a feeling about her. I think we both did. And I added to it. If you'd like to take a second look, let me know. And she answered me like within minutes and said, I would really like to. And we scheduled it for the next day. Then I found out from the listing agent that I didn't have until the next day. And I called her up and I said, I just talked to the listing agent. And that's when she told me, I didn't know you weren't the listing agent. That's okay. And we need to go see that house as soon as possible. We went back and saw it 20 minutes later. Right. But I don't treat everybody like that one. But there was, because of the conversation, I knew.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm walking in with blinking lights saying, I'm $1 million cash buyer and I don't have an agent. Help me, help me, help me. Right. But it was just a conversation and we connected. And so I really think that's a key piece. And don't ever be afraid to get an appointment at an open house. Right. One of the things that I showed this video years ago, it's easy to go find. You can find it on YouTube. But Jeff did a thing on open houses one day. And he says he always has, he does not schedule a personal thing an hour after the open house.
So we can take people around.
So he can go schedule the buyer consultation. He's not going to run around and take them out, but he will say,
Let's talk.
you know what? I think we need to move this forward. I got to pick up signs. I'm done here at 2. I can be at my office at 3:00.
Or at the Starbucks over here at,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. No local coffee. Like if you're nowhere near the office, if you're doing, you know, whatever, know where the local coffee shop is that you can just go like have a quick meeting with them afterwards. So, because then you're at least in a public place too, if you don't know these people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And do you have a laptop or an iPad with you at your open houses?
Yes, always.
Because if you got to go to a coffee shop and write a contract, you don't want to do it on your iPhone.
Oh.
The tiny type.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I don't know if this is helping Stephanie, but I mean, I think it is, it's just writing down that questions. And I think it all starts with how you start when you walk in the door.
Well, and it's authenticity, which, I mean, I was joking about the buttons, but I think the frustration there is I feel like I do have a lot of expertise that I would love to share with people, and not just because I would make money from it, but because I could help buyers. And I'm really, you know, what Wednesday did for me was really get me thinking about that has to start happening if I'm going to put this much effort into open houses.
You need the conversations to be more meaningful.
I need them, and not just meaningful for me.
No,
You
for
know?
them too. Like
Yeah,
everything. Like,
exactly.
it can't just be, hi, how'd you find us? Oh, great to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Bye.
I was gratified when Diane, who I know works at such a high level, said, I let people come in, I say hello and greet them. I say, please look around and let me answer any questions for you. And I always thought that I was wrong to do that, like I should be following along and trying to point out more stuff, but I'm always really laid back about that.
So do you have a standard conversation starter when somebody walks into your open house?
Oh, yeah, I mean, usually, did you see the signs to come in today, or how did you find us? Something like that. If there's a kid, I immediately start flirting with the kid. If it's gross day or a great day. I mean, sometimes it's just something as, hey, thanks for coming in on such a nice day. It's great to have you here, you know, something like that. I just try to be warm and welcoming. And then I use your trick, which usually works really well, especially when there's multiple levels, of having something on each floor to ask them about when they come back. What would you keep in the safe in the master bedroom walk-in
Right.
closet? You know, that kind of thing, just to engage them a little bit more. They also said, and this was a mind blower for me, get the signs out as early as possible.
Mhm.
And I don't put them out the night before, but
No, they disappear.
yeah.
Yeah, you just think about, you know, Nikki usually puts them out super early, but we try to have a rider
Mhm.
with. When the open house times would be as early as possible.
And I actually am usually doing other people's properties, so
Right,
I the
you can't.
writers. But I did get out at 8 o'clock for my 10 o'clock on Saturday, so you know, that's fine with me, so I'm usually holding back. And the longer my signs are out, the better.
Yeah.
So question for you, do you own a rider?
I don't know, I don't,
Okay, so just because it's another listing,
I know.
okay, so if you were gonna work an open house for me and I wasn't a kind listing agent and put it out there for you,
Yeah.
do you have riders that you could drop off once you have
Yeah.
your open houses scheduled that you could go
Yeah.
with permission?
With permission.
Is it okay if I put a rider on the property listing that we
Yeah.
have an open house on Saturday? And you can get magnets on them
Yeah.
that switch the times?
Yeah. So the yokel, I did a open house for it, a really good looking updated property where you could go textile free in the backyard because it was totally private.
I just got that.
8 o'clock in the morning, I talked to him on the phone. I said, hey, for some reason you haven't got this in the MLS. Oh, I thought my assistant did that Tuesday. No, she didn't. He never got it in. We had 3 people come in.
Mm.
I gotta tell you, that's the hard part.
Makes
So
me crazy.
I would say. I used to love, when I was doing this at a production at a super high level. I would put my open house sign up the same time Steve installed the sign. So if Steve installed the sign on Monday, the open house writer went up that said, open house Saturday, 10 to 1 or whatever time we were doing. Right? Because that way, everybody that drove by that house in the neighborhood saw it, right? So getting those riders up early
That could be nice.
is absolutely helpful in building that, right?
Mhm.
But again, this was about, you know, why getting those people to like,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And not coming across to commission breathy, to I'm in your face and making them push you away.
Mhm.
Right.
Getting some value out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about farming a neighborhood is I do see repeat visitors, and that's a great way to greet people a second time, remember them.
Yep.
Further it along.
All right, is this helpful for everybody else as well? Are we getting some value out of this? The first group, I only had 2 people, so we ended up killing them Zoom and we did a mastermind in here about event planning, so. Okay, and then the first part of your question, I don't even remember what it was.
Oh, what, I don't either.
The questions was the first part and the second part was the
Oh, the
something
contacts,
else.
we rolled right
Contacts.
into it, took care of both of them.
yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Awesome, well, I'm really glad that you got awesome value from that, from that skills lab.
And I'm gonna get a sparkle bucket, so
There you go.
I've always been the person who's like, it's not my damn house to clean, why didn't the listing agent do this? But I totally agree that if I'm the face there, it does reflect on me. So I had to throw out a lot of moths this weekend, dead and alive.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Out the door.
They are not at my house.
Oh,
And
is
there
your
was a
cat?
shitload of them in Kansas this past.
I don't have a
weekend.
cat.
Shitload of them.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
This
fine
is
that I don't
nice.
have them, they don't gross me out, but I don't like
They're not
them.
gonna hurt you. Like,
No, they're whatever.
If they had pretty wings, they would be
I
so.
like to play with them, they're kind of funny.
Yeah, oh, I can see that.
Exactly.
I can see
At
that.
our friend's house last night, their cat was like, there's like tracking this moth and just, yeah.
Absolutely, all right.
Yeah, no.
How was, how was the open house this weekend? Slow. I think they need a price reduction.
Oh, did you see the 725 that came up? Yeah, I was like, whoa.
I think it was a.
All right.
Yeah.
But it didn't
But
have an
square
offset.
footage was
Yeah.
pretty good. And
Yeah.
I was like, they don't have this big of a yard, obviously. so
And it's
they
a
want
corner
like
lot, yeah.
Big, game.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
Here we go, all right, so
Yeah.
I want to share. except for Stacy, none of you were there. Okay, so I went to Jeff's 17 Ways to Win this summer website or seminar that he had here in town, and there was some good stuff. And so I brought my notebook. Surprise, I came prepared today. And one of the things I think is really interesting is that we talk about mindset, right? And I think all of us get in our own way sometimes, right? Whether it's, I just had a termination on a contract, whether it's my open houses aren't getting me where I want to be, whether it's, oh my God, this house should have flew off the market first weekend and it's still here, or I feel like I'm working my tail off and I'm just not getting it, right? And we can get in our own heads. Or is that just a Margaret problem?
No.
Okay.
It's an Amanda problem too.
We all do it, right? That's why you have me. Okay, so Jeff gave out, well, it goes to letter G, some things to do to help ensure that we have a bulletproof mindset that has emotional resilience. Okay, so I don't know if you want to have this go through this or not. Actually, there's more than that. So the first one was, his answer was, well, make the decision. Make the decision to impact your mindset, right? We're all gloomy, we're all down, it's kind of mopey today. I can still feel it through the Zoom, I can still feel it, like, but we're getting better. We're getting better. We're starting to get some mojo going. Pretty soon I'm gonna start a gratitude thing. But make the decision to have a good day. Right? Make the decision when you pop out of bed. I'm gonna have a good day today. Thank goodness the sun's not shining, because now I don't want to go outside and play. I can work. Okay. First one, stop watching the news and reading the threads on social media.
They're toxic.
They're toxic, right? Stop listening to the news. Because the news will tell you what, the economy is going to crash. The government's shutting down on someday soon, right? Like the world's going to come to an end, right?
And they'll tell you that over and over and over.
Exactly, right?
That's why I call it the bad news.
So stop watching it. Okay. I love this one. I think I shared this at Team Rally, so you may have heard this one already. Listen to one podcast per day, 5 days a week. How many of you drive somewhere pretty much every day, Monday through Friday? How many of you go in a car almost every day? Yeah. Sherry doesn't go in the car every day. She drives that kid. She drives those kids to school. I see her, right? Hey, how long is the average podcast?
Did you say it's like 20 minutes?
15 to 20 minutes. None of us are in the car less than 20 minutes a day. Right? Even if we don't have to go out on client events, right? We have that. So, and then pick someone to listen to every day. Right? So, and make them people that you want to listen to. Right? Some great ones would be, I don't know, Gary Keller's Think Like a CEO. Right? Lab Code Agents, Tristan puts out a pretty nice one. Jeff has one, right? You could listen to Ed Milet. You could listen to Rachel Hollis. You can listen to, I don't know who. Find the people that inspire and motivate you, and don't make them all real estate related. Okay? Make them about you and what's going to speak to you, one a day. So Monday might be Ed Milet, Tuesday might be Gary Keller, Wednesday might be some comedian who's got a podcast. I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, do they do podcasts about, you know, how to macrame a flower pot holder? Like, I don't know.
Sure, I'm sure they do.
I bet they do, right? I bet there's some podcasts out there on your hobbies, right? How to be a better pickleball player. I don't know. Okay. Next one. Stop hanging around with negative people. This group as a group is the farthest thing from negative that I would say we have. All right. And I would tell you what, the days when there are a bunch of you up here, this place has so much positive energy in it. Don't you say? Right? Like, if you're feeling like you're off, then get your butt up here. None of you, other than Casey, live that far away from here. Even for Sarah, she can drive, Sarah's not that far, she gets on the freeway from Brighton. By the way, I was in Brighton bowling this weekend.
How was it? Was it fun?
Oh my God, I did really good. I think I took 4th place. Yeah, my favorite format. I love it. Next one, get to conferences outside your market. Now, I love this part. Don't be a conference junkie,
Right.
right? You can be the person who is always at conferences and spending lots of money, but you're never implementing even one thing you learned from the conference.
Mhm.
Because you don't have time, because you go to conferences.
Exactly, right? Now, how many of you have been to a Keller Williams conference outside of Colorado? Or any conference outside of Colorado? 4 of us? Okay. His recommendation is to go to no less than 4 and no more than 6 a year. That's a lot of money.
A lot.
That's a lot of money. So what I would tell you would be this. Go to 1. Go to 1 outside Colorado. Start saving now.
Yeah.
Start saving now. Right? And then go to some of the stuff in Colorado. Right? We have some really good stuff, right? We've got the regional summit up in Vail. That will be a lot cheaper than going to Austin to Mega Camp.
Mhm.
And cooler.
And
Temperature-wise.
cooler. Kevin will be at the regional summit to buy dinner, right? So, yes, exactly, right? So lunch with,
Free dinner.
dinner with Kevin, lunch with Charles. What can I say?
Oh, so when are we having our lunch with Charles?
I know you guys have to figure that out, but Jamie's leaving town, so, anyway. Get it, go pour into yourself, right? And like I said, 4 a year, no more than 6. I love this one. Don't be attached to the outcome.
Short memory.
Have a short-term memory. It's when you can now officially have Alzheimer's.
I like to call it young timers.
Don't be attached to the outcome.
Tough. Yeah,
It's
really hard.
really tough, right? It's really, really tough. But if you can find strategies that work for you, it's easier, right? And I will tell you, the more experience you have, it doesn't mean that you don't care, but the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And Amanda had a situation last week. I'm not gonna go into it.
You can, I don't care.
It sucks and it sucks. She got a termination. She's gonna end up in another earnest money dispute. And it's gonna be no fun. And I looked at her and I said, 3 words. I'm sorry, 4 words. What did I say? You've been here before.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say.
You're gonna, it's like,
Here's
you're
what
neighbor
it is,
too.
honey.
Yeah.
No, it's, you've been here before.
What a bunch of assholes.
No, but it's not, it wasn't about them, right? My thing is keeping her mindset, you guys' mindsets in the right place.
Yeah.
It would be really easy to have left on Friday when that happened and the world is coming to an end and spiraling out of control all weekend long. And the answer is you've been here before. You know what it's going to do. This isn't an unknown territory to you. It's not, doesn't mean that it's suddenly fun, but you know that at the end, it will turn out just fine. It's going to
It's gonna
resolve
work out.
itself,
And I
right?
know that we are totally contractually the ones that are not in the wrong.
Yes.
But it's a very zen thing to say, and it's hard.
It's very hard, and I'm not.
What's gonna happen is gonna
by
happen.
nature.
I can't control it.
Right.
I
Control what I
can only
control.
Control
Yeah,
myself.
yep.
Yeah.
It's always making sure I've done everything I possibly can to influence the outcome,
Right.
but you can't be attached to the outcome. And which is really hard if you haven't had a closing for 4 months.
And I got into that spiral all.
You did, but we're not getting there again. We're not gonna go there again.
No,
It's really hard when you have 5 listings sitting on the market and price points that you're going, oh shit, I have so much money invested in these.
Yeah.
And none of them are under contract.
And you've been there before,
Never with 5.
but you've been there before, right?
Yeah.
So you've been there before, all right? So have a short-term memory. I like this one. Read 1 to 2 pages per day from a self-help book.
You don't have to read the whole thing, just a little.
Right, right, like I'm not a reader, because I'm like, well, once I get started, I don't have time, but I can find time to read 1 or 2 pages. And especially if I have the book apps now on my phone or my iPad, it gets that much easier, right? So read 1 to 2 pages per day from a self-help book. Maybe you start your morning with that as you're getting going, or you end your day. Maybe you read 1 or 2 pages during a lunch hour or in between appointments, but 1 to 2 pages a day from some kind of self-help book. This one is interesting. Join or create a mindset mastermind group. Right? So join or create a mindset mastermind group, right? And it could be as simple as, we could do it in this group. It would be super easy to do. We could set up a Zoom call that starts at, well, I already have one that starts at 8 and 8:30. So 7:45 every morning. We could start one at 7:45 every morning, and everybody just jumps on there and talks about what their intention of the day is. Or maybe we have it at 4 o'clock every day and we talk about what we're grateful for. Or we talk about what we accomplished today or what we accomplished yesterday. It can be that simple. But have you guys, when you guys are kind of like not engaging and kind of mopey and all of this, and I jump into, okay, what are you grateful for today? Have you ever noticed how the energy shifts? I'm about to do it today. Okay. The energy shifts when you are around something that's positive, right? So what, I don't know where you find those groups, so maybe you go create one. Okay, so those are some tips. I'm trying to stop calling them tricks, because tricks sound like they're manipulative.
Right, but they're
And I
not.
don't want it to be a trick. I want it to be a tip. I want it to be a best practice. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that can help you have. Okay, what's so funny?
Yeah, what's funny?
All right, go. What's so funny?
Are you thinking about prostitutes? Cause I was.
Sherry just posted
Sorry.
something
Oh,
on
hold on.
Facebook.
The sound bar went off. Okay, I gotta get out of the, I can't reach over that far without falling out of the chair.
Don't fall out of the chair.
Okay, now tell us what's so doggone funny.
What would think?
I don't know. It's silly. Sorry. Sherry wants to talk.
No, we were just laughing about things that we're grateful for. That's all.
We can't hear you guys now in the office.
Oh.
Now we got you.
Everybody hears everybody.
Okay, so now Mara and Sherry, tell us again what you were laughing about, because we couldn't hear you while you were on mute. And then I muted the fancy new microphone because I didn't know there was a button on there.
It's just the touch thing, yeah.
We were just going off of what you were talking about, of things to be thankful for, making it silly. And then we were like, oh, we're thankful for all the people liking our posts. And then I looked at one, I'm like, oh, just you.
Hey, I always like your posts and comment.
And sometimes you have to like your own stuff, because since my dog died, no one laughs at my jokes, and I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta just do it myself,
oh.
obviously. Well, it's been a while. I'll get another dog with a good sense of humor.
There you go.
Yeah.
I met a wonderful one this weekend.
All right.
That is crazy, crazy. All right. So anything else we need to chat about, cover, anything? Anything else that we want to?
Anybody not going out of town for Memorial Day weekend that wants to host a open house on any of my properties, let me know.
Maybe Sunday.
Fine with me.
Okay.
I will be in Southport.
Southport.
I think it could be very interesting to have an open house on Monday.
I was thinking about having an open house on Wednesday or Thursday.
I think there's some validity in it, right? We're going into summer,
Right.
right? There are people out and about that they're taking vacation time or they have jobs that are aligned with the school, so they're off when their kids are off, right? Like, I don't think there's a bad day to have an open house,
I was
right?
thinking like 5 to 7, or maybe
On a
6 to
weeknight.
8 on a weeknight. What do you think?
Depends
I go
on,
earlier, but
Earlier, like 4 to 6, when people are working?
4 to 7.
yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends, like, are you getting traffic from pickups from a school, then go earlier, if not, maybe. Yeah, and if it's a Friday, a lot of people leave early.
Well, it won't be Friday because we're leaving Friday. For South.
Cause if you ever notice, if you ever do one on a Friday, if you're ever been like a corporate person, you notice traffic, the rush hour starts at like 3 on Fridays.
Right, I used to leave at 1. Yeah, no, I mean, we're leaving town Friday through Monday, so I'm just thinking about like Wednesday, Thursday, potentially having an open house and then seeing if there's anybody else that wants to work open houses for me this weekend, because again, I've got 3 in particular, an
Yeah.
800, the 900 and the 1.2
Yeah,
that are open house worthy. We're not doing open houses on the 2 million.
no, I
No,
know.
that totally
That
makes
makes
sense.
That makes sense.
So,
And everybody, I think, has already hosted an open house on the other super home, so, you know. It is what it is. We might be getting an offer on that, but.
well, the fastest way to get your properties under contract is just leave town. Are you both leaving?
Yes.
There we go. Who's covering your business while you're both gone?
No one. Me
Okay.
from Southport.
Yeah, so make sure that, right, but it's true, right? So yeah, I don't think there's a bad time to be able to do an open house. I think you just have to be very strategic and understand where it's at.
Yeah.
Right,
They're all in Candelas, so I'm just trying to figure out what to do.
right. And so, but when do people from Candelas come home? When do people from
A
Candelas?
lot of people work from Candelas.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, Kathy Peterson used to hold open houses from 11 until 2 on Friday afternoons.
Oh, that's
First
interesting.
weekend on our listing, used to have people walk in all the time,
That's interesting.
right? So it all works, right?
Yeah, maybe we do Thursday.
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
Just gotta do something.
Right.
Okay, so you guys were the ones who all showed up on last, when did we do that? Thursday night?
Yeah, it was so nice.
We had so
Thank
much
you for
fun,
that.
thank you. I needed that day.
So is that
Yeah.
something we need to do on a more regular basis?
Well, it might get easier with school, people not having school and getting kids back and forth in summertime, but, I mean, I'm always available, but.
I love hanging out.
Me
I wish we could
too.
all hang out more often.
Me too.
Well, this office is open Monday through Saturday. So come hang out.
Yeah.
There is like, I heard a rumor, the refrigerator's full.
It
Yeah.
is.
There's snacks that I filled on
I
Saturday.
brought coffee last
There's
week.
food.
Wine in my office.
There might be some margaritas in the
And
refrigerator.
it's not like there's some beer in the fridge.
There's still some beer in the fridge, so
Go on and down in the elevator.
here's what we do. Come on up, right? Build that energy. When you're feeling mopey at home, I'm gonna say one thing, get your tushy up here,
Mhm.
right? Let's help each other get out of the gunk. Okay, there is no coaching next Monday, okay, it's Memorial Day. And so that won't be here, but, I heard there's some animals at a zoo that need to see me.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
It's
so
happening.
all right, anything else I can do for you all? Jamie, I know you're heading out of the country soon, have a fantastic trip.
Have fun.
Woo!
Be safe.
We've got a bunch of world travelers in our group. Vanessa's heading out for 3 weeks to Jerusalem and Egypt.
Wow.
So Jamie's headed to Europe, so lots of good stuff.
I mean,
By the
that
way-
all sounds exciting, but Southport. Kidding.
All I would say is this. Use this stuff to put it on your social.
Yeah.
Right? Take those pictures. Right? Take those pictures of the barbecue, take those pictures of the s'mores, whatever it is you're doing. let people see your life. The part you're willing to share. And traveling and burgers and hot dogs and events like that, they're safe. Okay, so with that, let me know what I can do to help you. We do have some scheduling changes I need to make with some of your one-on-ones, just with some events that are coming up. And please make sure you're managing your opportunities correctly in command so that they come into CSU the way we need them to. So, because by the way, I am showing off our CSU at the coaching conference the end of June. I kind of want to have it look good.
Okay.
Unless I have to go in and write up a bunch of bogus stuff. So with that, have a great week and I will see you all later. Yes, Sherry.
Oh, real quick with that, in command, where do you put your listing? If you have a listing appointments, not activity under the contact, where is it?
You have to create the opportunity.
Create opportunity. Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
after you create the opportunity, hold on, I'll show you. I know a little bit, not much.
Remember,
All of our opportunities are on our team account, right?
it's under
Yes.
opportunity.
Oh, look, I was right. Opportunities is the handshaking.
Yes, it
Okay, do we have an
is.
opportunity in here? Oh, we do have an opportunity.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, we couldn't figure that out.
All right, hold on. I'll show you. I just had to get it set up so you can see it. Okay, so I'm in the opportunity, right? So I'm going to go to this little edit button. And down here, it shows estimated close date. Well, we can change that.
Yeah, I know. That was an old one. It was.
How do you put the?
Okay, so we scheduled the appointment on March 27th. We held the appointment on March 28th. So that's where you put it. And then have we signed a buyer agency
No.
with them?
When you sign your agreement, that's when you put that
Yeah,
one in. Yeah.
so the date of your buyer agency agreement or listing contract goes under agreement 1. Contract date is the date you went under contract, and close date is when it actually closed.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
so those are the key ones, these ones right here.
Yeah. that's
Okay.
The beginning of
The
it.
rest of this, that's great to have, but doesn't necessarily flow into that other place, that Siebel, not Siebel, that was
Sisu.
like level 3, Sisu. Okay,
Perfect. Thank you.
helpful.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so yeah, make sure you guys have your opportunities in, and we already lost a bunch of people, so, all right, I will see all of you all later. See you Wednesday at Team Rally.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Get out of here. She's focused.
Yeah. You can't.
Oh, I got a date for lunch.
Where are you gonna go?
I don't know, where are we going, Greg?
I don't know. Probably somewhere quick, because apparently I have football now.